everybody, and welcome to The Garage. I'm Jeremy Cordeaux. Welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. Peter Clayton's behind the camera. I'm Jeremy Cordeaux. A little bit later on, I don't know where we're going to put it in, Pete, but I was sent Les, in fact, sent it to me, who joins us, Les Elicus, who joins us around the dining room table on a Friday morning. He sent this to me from, I think he is an imam, Islamic gentleman who has some fairly profound things to say about the world of Islam and the way in which the world is treating Islam. And he points to some of the dangers in the behavior of the Western world. You put that in, Pete, wherever you think you should.
Well, you can either put it here or at the end.
Let's put it in at the end. Okay. Access to fertility treatments. Now, I've never known quite how to take that, how to treat that. I've always assumed that if God meant me to have a child, I'd have a child. If he, for some reason, decided that I wasn't to procreate, I wouldn't. Well, access to fertility treatment, which can be very expensive, is going to be made available to everyone, even if it's impossible. Meaning, LGBTIQ couples, regardless of cost or possible success, is kind of madness, really. If you happen to be in life undecided or confused about your sexuality, are you a man, are you a woman? Or if you like to move between the two, I don't know, that's fine. That's fine. But surely you have to accept the fact that having a child, or even trying to, seems to be strange. I was going to say queer, but probably the word isn't right in that context. Let me say madness. But if you want to waste your money trying, that's fine. But it's outrageous that you would expect the taxpayer, and this government would grant you that. This government would say, we'll pick up the bills. We're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars. But this woke government thinks that's fine. Well, I don't. Nice for the fertility clinics. Oh, very nice. But just like the NDIS providers, come in, spinner. Look, keep it simple, stupid. You know the KISS principle? Keep it simple, stupid. There are two genders, male and female. That's the way God made it. This government should take their welcome to country nonsense, their three flags, the NDIS, all the LGBTIQ stuff, their renewables, their climate change policy, and go! And by the way, I think in fairness I should say the opinions expressed by me do not necessarily reflect those views of this garage. But hang on.
Well, they're my views.
Oh, bless you, Pete. But hang on, I own the garage. I own the garage. So yes, they do. My garage, my opinions. I think that's reasonable. According to Flinders University, we have had significantly less sunshine. In fact, let me see if I can remember, 69%. Yeah, I think that's right. 69% less sunshine this winter. Seasonal affective disorder, this thing called SAD, SAD. That's like the black dog, as Churchill used to call his depression, because without sunlight we do tend to be less happy. to put it mildly. Now, considering this lack of sunshine, I wonder how we last week managed to have 3 of the hottest days in global history, in the history of the world. Well, the answer is simple. Of course, we didn't. We didn't. Absolute bunkum. You can't have heat without sunshine. The sun, that's it. That's what creates the heat. Now, the media should have picked up on that immediately. But you can't let good journalism get in the way of climate change and the narrative that the government is pushing, can you? I think that's disgraceful. I think there are so many journalists in this country who need their bums kicked, I tell you. A Redbridge survey, and I think the Redbridge people do a lot of work for the Labor Party. I could be wrong in that. I'll have to check it, but I think so. The Redbridge survey shows that the vast majority of people in Australia blame the government's obsession with renewables for their high energy bills. To which I would say, damn right. Now look, the government can duck and weave as much as they like. But even with the media who don't want to run with that Redbridge survey result, funny they don't want to, I didn't see it anywhere. Let me just say in simple terms, the people, we the people, have nailed it. And we mustn't forget it. We're heading up to an election. Well, while we're on the subject, I never thought I would see a story that suggests that we, here in Australia, are at risk of being unable to feed ourselves. Unable to feed ourselves. It's being openly suggested today that the food industry will go the way of the car industry. Now, can you imagine that from a country which produced enough food to feed nearly 100 million people, we're only 28 million people, we could produce easily food for 100 million people. We will be reduced to having to import most everything that we eat. Now, if we do that, we will immediately become vulnerable to 1,000 uncontrollables. God, supply chain uncertainties. Something happens in the Suez Canal, nothing moves. Panama Canal, God, wars. Look, you name it. The moment we have to import products and produce, supply and costs are beyond our control. Ladies and gentlemen, are we going to let that happen? Please tell me no. We are being told by the big players, SPC, which I think was formerly SPC Ardmona, very big players from Shepparton, Victoria, Cadbury's from Tasmania. A huge commitment these people have to Australia. These are only 2, but there are many. I'm speaking for them all. But these 2 very big players have made it quite clear, publicly. Why are they hesitant about our future capacity to feed ourselves? It is simply the high cost of electricity and production, the high cost of energy, labour costs. That means the unions. Same thing applied to Holden's. Same thing applied to the entire automobile industry. They killed it. Government regulation, they also cited as a huge problem. Hoops to jump through everywhere. That's causing food producers to halt investment in Australia. and rethink their future investment and where they could in the world be doing it better. And believe me, these guys are so big they can do it anywhere. Again, like the loss of the car industry, it is the government that is to blame, driven by their obsession with renewables and red tape. This government is putting our food security. Now think about it. Our government is putting food security at risk. It's a fundamental. But no, not for them. No. It's Aboriginals, it's Magarata, it's Three Flags, it's LGBTIQ, it's climate change, it's Free Palestine. I mean, I can't imagine how the media in this country lets these people get away with it. And while I'm ranting and raving, why, if you call in the law and investigate the CFMEU for criminal involvement, why, when the minister, Bill Shorten himself, stands up, publicly announces that the NDIS is in the hands of criminals, there's no inquiry, there's no Royal Commission, there's no police investigation? No. Why not? Huh. Oh, it's only public money. What the hell? Isn't it weird? I do hope you agree with some of this, and if you don't, please call me on Friday. The Commonwealth is spending taxpayers' money to remind us to seek permission. Yeah, television ads. Have you seen them, Pete?
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Well, television ads to seek permission. Can I hold your hand?
No, I haven't seen.
Can I kiss you? I mean, not you, Pete. I like you, but not that much. But, you know, seek permission. This is wonderfully woke nonsense. Seek permission. Amazing. Who is this advertising, expensive advertising campaign aimed at? Do they really think that the brutes who rape and brutalize people will be influenced by an advertising campaign on television? Do they think that it will change these people's behavior? No, I don't think they do. No. You see, what happens in the public service is you've got an advertising budget, government advertising budget, and if you don't spend it all, you'll lose it. So they've got to come up with these crazy ideas to spend taxpayers' dollars on while they are, the government, crying crocodile tears about the cost of living. And while we're on the subject, the ABC increased its advertising budget by 30%. This just last year. 30%. 30%. Why? Why? They couldn't care about attracting a bigger audience. They couldn't. And they're spending that money on commercial television for what sort of commercial gain? They don't make anything out of the product they're selling. If they cared about getting a larger audience, they'd just get rid of the woke, politically correct, left-wing crap and the presenters associated with it. A much cheaper solution, ladies and gentlemen. Why Ita Buttrose didn't do it, I have no idea. I'll talk to Ita Buttrose about that one day. No doubt I will have the opportunity. And speaking of permission, have I got time, Pete?
Yeah.
Speaking of seeking permission, Mills and Boon. Now, I've got to tell you, I've never read a Mills and Boon book, but Mills and Boon are 50 years old in Australia this week. I do remember talking to Barbara Cartland, who wrote a lot of Mills and Boon-y kind of books. Barbara Cartland, yes indeed. And the reason I bring it up is that the sale of romance novels has doubled, and in the last 2 years has doubled again. I don't know what's going on there, but I can tell you that there is not a lot of seeking permission in a Mills and Boon love story. The heroine usually faints. What's the word? Lovely old face. Oh, swoons. She swoons. Now, don't ask me. Don't ask, I won't tell. You're going to ask me how I know that. Well, come Friday, I might tell you. We will have one of our most successful romance writers, Chris Osterman, here in Adelaide on the show, jeremycordeaux.com, live streaming from the dining room table. Join us 9 to 12 for a little bodice ripping. That's what they call them, Pete, you know that?
No.
Bodice rippers, they're called bodice rippers. Bodice ripping. 0491 656860 if you'd like to join me, and you can ring to rip my ears off or rip my bodice off. Whatever. Now, will we run that Imam, or will we do that after the dates?
Do the dates.
Okay. All right. Did you see what I did with my glasses? There they are. On the ground. Sorry. He's not very well organized. August 7, happy birthday. Happy birthday. I hope you have a lovely day. Greg Chappell, 1948. Happy birthday, Australian cricket batsman and captain, 87 tests, born in Adelaide. On this day, August 7, Mata Hari. On this day, Dutch exotic dancer, courtesan, and convicted German World War I spy. Wow. Born in the Netherlands. She died in 1919, born 1876 on this very day. And speaking of spies, a lady I spoke to on several occasions, her name was Nancy Wake, New Zealand-born World War II secret agent. Special Operations Executive. She dies at 98. They used to call her the White Mouse. I think they wrote a book about her, or she wrote a book. I know I had occasion to talk to her several times. She was a lovely lady. 2011 she died. Possibly the first performance of Shakespeare's tragedy, Macbeth, performed in the Great Hall at Hampton Court Palace for King James I. On this day, 1606. Are you into cats, Pete?
Yeah, I like cats.
Cats.
As long as they're inside, not outside.
Yeah, 1970, 19 kittens. A world record for a domestic cat litter. Whoa. Born to a 4-year-old Burmese cat in Oxfordshire. Could you imagine? I don't know how many nipples a cat has, but 19. She'd never get away. Can you imagine it? I know motherhood is a wonderful, people take to it. 19. Hungry. I don't want to even think about it. David Duchovny, American actor, X-Files, born in New York in 1960. Francis Drake, his fleet returns to Plymouth after a year spent raiding Spanish treasure on this day in 1573. Diamond workers went on strike in Amsterdam on this day in 1900. I don't know why that's memorable. They should have been on a fairly good wicket, or they should have been... anyway, it doesn't matter. The first American offensive in Pacific, World War II, Guadalcanal in the Solomon Islands, which was really one of the great turning points of World War II, I might tell you, this day in 1942. Guadalcanal. Oliver Hardy, American comedian, Laurel and Hardy. He dies at only 65. Stan Laurel and Oliver Hardy. I wonder how they worked out who got top billing. Anyway, it was this day in 1957, Roger Bannister beats Australian John Landy in the mile at the Empire Games in Vancouver. 1954, for the first time, two men run sub 4-minute mile races in the same race. And one more, British keyboard player, songwriter, Christine McVie, joins the rock band Fleetwood Mac on this day in 1970. Anyway, that's the podcast for the week, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed the show from the garage. We'll see you on Friday, 9 o'clock till 12. I'm Jeremy Cordeaux. We'll be back next Tuesday and Wednesday. We record on a Monday, but Tuesday and Wednesday, podcasting and Facebooking. Believe in yourself, and from the court of public opinion, thank you for viewing. Bye for now.
Every house produces garbage. We buy stuff, we import stuff, we use them, we have garbage. At the end of the week, we put the garbage in the garbage bin, we take the garbage bin outside, the government or council takes the garbage and takes it away from my house and your house and society. Why? Because if the garbage stays in the home, it creates illness and bacteria and diseases. Society also has garbage. You have murderers, criminals, and then you have filthy garbage ideology, where someone says, you're a woman, you should stay at home. Or someone says, you're a woman, you need to cover, your whole body is a private part, right? You need to cover up. Or someone says, this guy's a Jew, this guy's a Christian, they need to be, dealt with. This ideology is a filthy ideology. It cannot be respected. Funny enough, the IRGC cannot operate in Saudi Arabia. Their supporters cannot have bank accounts in the UAE. The other extremist groups, like the Muslim Brotherhood, who are friends with the IRGC and Hezbollah people, they cannot operate in Bahrain, in Oman. These are Muslim countries. Where do they operate? In London, in France, in Washington, D.C., in Australia, in Canada, Toronto. They operate here. They have bank accounts. They register charity. Right. So Macron, the president of France, recently said, the Islamic world is in a crisis. In my opinion, yeah, we do have problems. We do have Boko Haram, we have Al-Qaeda, we have Taliban. We have problems, but the broader picture, Islam is very successful, it's growing very fast. And we're doing really well. Dubai is not in a crisis. Abu Dhabi, the UAE, Bahrain, Oman, Kuwait, there's no crisis there. The Muslim countries are doing good there. Only some places there's a problem. I say, no, you are in a crisis. You went to the Muslim countries and you imported the garbage that the Muslim countries wanted to put in prison or isolate away from society. You went and you imported them. Why? For cheap labor. But these Islamist extremists, they don't want to work. They want free welfare. They want to marry French women, blonde hair, blue eyes. They don't have time to work. So look at Poland. They don't complain from Islamic extremism, not a single terrorist attack in Poland. The moment they sense there's a problem, they crack down on it. Polish policy, beautiful. The French, no, come. When they come, they use the resources. They go to Washington, D.C., and they sit in Congress. They support the Iranian regime. They go against the sanctions in Congress, right, with their hijab. Why? Because the ideology is filth to begin with. When you import that, or you allow it in, or you amplify it, or you glorify it in any way, you make your bed, sleep in it. So that is also a problem of the West. The question is, Tina, did the extremists become stronger or the West become weaker? I say it's both.